Yes, top of the moment to you anywhere where you watch us from. Property Matta, and I will don't begin again with Engineer Debo. And my own name never changed, as still Chief Olododo. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Chifo.
How you doing, sir?
Very well, welcome.
Yes,
How's everything? And welcome from Japan. From
Yeah,
Tokyo. No, at least you tried.
No, we are planning on borrowing some medal.
Really?
We are planning on borrowing. We are good at borrowing, so, so there's no problem.
Good morning, viewers. How are you and how has it been? Yeah, I believe that you've been enjoying the episodes. If you've missed any, you want to go to WAP TV YouTube channel and catch up. We've been talking about very interesting real estate topics. So if you are interested in property matter, you are interested in real estate, this is the program to catch up on. So go and watch Property Matter on WAP TV YouTube channel, the previous episodes.
Yes, last week or 2 weeks ago, we don't start the one we say we learn a lot from that. Going down community development memory lanes series 3. Now this one go be obviously where Engineer Debo done they enlighten us about say even he make us realize that the very first estate, so to say now for Bodija for Ibadan. Yes. And that one first shell. And if I remember part of the things we I learned last week in clarify between what they call brownfield and greenfield. Say people just they use the name unknowingly, but he believe say anybody way they into their field professionally suppose know the meaning. Brownfield, greenfield, I'm going to talk a bit about them today. So this week we want dedicate them to now where they watch us. I'll go open the phone lines now, begin to the call, then let us know how development take be. I remember the story of that man we tell us saying Papa no gree buy land for Agege.
Yes. In fact, painful a bit.
Later I can't even enter inside.
Abeokuta reach before you buy land. Which is, and that's the story with people when it comes to land, That's the story with people when it comes to land.
Same with my father. I remember growing up in Okota. My papa, he worked for a papa. He did work for a papa. So the bad day. But I think they always see Okota like, say, Okota, this boost. Okota, he sees it as, if he's not building in Surulere, then he's going to the island. So he remains small, make door, cash in hand.
Wow.
Nobody tell her now white sand for his sherry. White sand for his sherry. Now God use that one to do saving grace for him. And that time, land still there for Ago. I'm talking about 80.
Land plenty for Ago for 80.
I'm talking about 80. I think I got to 89.
Land plenty. In fact, land just they sell for Ago.
Who won't go Ago as at 89?
Exactly. They still they beg people down.
But look at what Ago has turned into today. Look at what Ago has turned into, moving down first stack axis.
Yes,
it is real money. It is real money. It is real money.
Yes. It is. And like we've shared, so we've talked about Bodija, that's last 2 weeks. We talked a bit about Surulere last week.
Yes, the development how they come from Island.
Yes, and I just wanted to, that Island was really where Lagos was before. I hope you know that.
Say when you say island,
Eko,
because necessarily Eko we they look at island.
Eko, that's what they call Lagos Island area. Was really where Lagos was, until it started to spill to Ebute Metta and Yaba. Yaba Ebute Metta, and a lot of people did not want to go.
I remember the story you told us of the government moving some people to.
Yes. So there is. When you hear island, Lagos mainland, that was all that there was about Lagos. Lagos Island, Lagos mainland. Lagos Island was
the Eko part.
The Eko that we know, Broad Street and Co. Campus and all of those.
Campus,
Ojuno.
And I don't know Ojuno. You know stay for Island. Though.
I don't stay for Island.
You know Ebuteru.
I hear Ebute.
Ebute Metanko.
Ebute Metta na in the mainland now.
Ebuteru. You get one way Ebute Kinikan where Kenwe the park like say I grew up there too.
So you get so mainland was Property Matta, Yaba. That was really what it was. You understand? On the side to stretch to the likes of Surulere, you know.
So we can say Surulere got the second development as far as Lagos is concerned after Ikoda's.
I think after Yaba and Property Matta, I think the next place was Surulere. Okay. That had government impact. And you know, then it was a combination of state and federal government that was doing all of this expansion, you know. And that Surulere started with the second mainland bridge. Okay. When they wanted to construct the second mainland, after the regular Carter Bridge that was done, I think Carter Bridge was done around 1930, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 1930. So around that 1960 something now, there was need to do another bridge because traffic was already getting congested on Carter Bridge. The same thing we're experiencing now on all of the bridges.
We are now even clamoring for
Fourth Mainland
Bridge now.
Was what was into. If you have to get to the island, you have to wake up early and things like that. So around the 1960s, you know, they started the plan to do second mainland bridge. And it was going to affect people staying in Olowogbo because it was going to terminate around that area. You know, all those Akpogbo and coastside. So they had to relocate people from there, you know. So they did enumeration, they did compensation, they moved people. And, you know, it's so interesting that things like this have happened before in this country. They actually built Surulere, yes, for that purpose.
They built it?
Yes, to move people from Olowogbo to that place.
More like a settlement center.
Yes.
Or resettlement center.
Resettlement, yes. So when in 1964, when they first did enumeration of the place, they figured that they will have like about 9,000 people that will be moved. But it was shocking that by 1966, just 2 years, when they did the re-evaluation of the enumeration, people had moved, the number of people in Olowogbo had moved from 9,000 to 12,000. So that is to tell you that Lagos has been growing since time immemorial. I mean, just in the space of about 3 years, people in supposed slum, because Olowogbo was a slum, people in supposed slum had increased by almost like 30%. You know, 33 point something percent. 3,000 had come on top of 9,000. You know, so they made provision for this about 12,000 people. Moved them to, so you see all those Surulere area, Onile Gogoro. You know, exactly. So they built from self-contained to like 4-bedroom apartments, you know, to house people of varying family sizes there. And I think the record has it that the total number of units that was built at that time was 1,350.
Wow.
Yes. So that's why that place became, I mean, Surulere was a swamp.
If we ever get this
Surulere was a swamp.
Structure again for this country.
Surulere was a swamp. Well, we recently had, at least the last one we had, that you can say, even Jakande, even during his ministerial whatever in Abuja, Gwarinpa is part
of his product.
Yes,
program.
Yes. Was
I know Gwarinpa.
You know Gwarinpa?
I know Gwarinpa. But continue.
Okay, so Jakande was that was the project. So 1,350 units, you know, was what was estimated. I mean, was what record has that was built, you know, to accommodate people, and it had about 2,842 rooms. Those units, you know, and that was to accommodate the about 12,000.
You get idea of how say now anybody wey get money you go talk say na this one I want now abi government just build am say oya and to ba call the person wey.
So what they did was they evaluated what landlords had. Okay. The value of land because they compensated landlords.
Okay.
They evaluated what landlord had, you know, and compensated them. But see the very interesting thing that they did. Whilst the construction was going on, they were moved from Olowogbo first to some of these houses that even landlords with their tenants were moved to some of these houses temporarily till they were allocated land, you know, around Surulere, because Surulere was made up of the one government built and land that they sold.
Okay.
LEDB was the name of the government body that was handling that time. Lagos Executive Development Board. What is now known as really what has transformed to LSDPC.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. Lagos State Housing Estate
Lagos State Development LSDPC.
Lagos State Development Project Community But I know LSDPC because that one is popular everywhere now. LSDPC.
Yeah. So Lagos Lagos Executive Development Board. I think it's Lagos State Development LSDPC.
I know it's a program or project.
Maybe planning or
planning
something.
Committee.
Commission.
Okay.
So that's how they moved the landlords
first
also into those apartments, and once they've resolved and settled down, they were allocated land when they were ready. Because they were creating land. It's part of their compensation.
Wow.
It's part of their compensation. So they were allocated land to build what will be approvable. You understand? Or the landlords, because they were compensated, they could buy into LEDB properties. Because LEDB built properties, you know.
Okay.
But they accommodated their tenants, you know, to now be paying rents, you know.
What is the difference between that one?
Owning those properties.
Okay, sir. What is the difference between that one where you explain and the one where it happened for Morocco?
So Morocco own be say the people were driven away. I'm not sure they were given any property or relocated. I'm not sure.
Well,
somebody can
call us to Engineer Debo said we do because it's deep.
Yes.
Okay,
because I've come across some people from that Morocco, even till today, they have a group agitating for how they will be resettled or compensated or things like that. So if they were compensated, maybe some of them were, some of them were not.
Well, some people are watching and they would also like to hear from them most definitely. Let's go on this shaking break. We will be right back. Yes, you're welcome back. If you just join us now, Property Matta now we do with Engineer Debo, and Engineer Debo they take time to dish out the history for us, facts and figures. So if you watch, you guys to watch with a pen for your hand because most definitely na learning session now would do. Okay, sir, you said we move from LEDB and it metamorphosed into what we have today as LSDPC. Also, you've made us realize that the trend, they come from Island to Yaba, then Surulere, and you don't tell us how they've been set to them. So the last one we they talk about now that of the displacement of Morocco and everything. So my next question for you now is, what is the future in terms of community development in Nigeria? What can we say is the future? Does this mean that make everybody go begin to buy acres, or what is actually the future? I be even this place where we dey sef, this is still not yet the future because for our own mind now, we believe say all this place now, it don't settle.
And you see, so the thing with real estate is that there is no end to development because there is such a thing called redevelopment. So there is no end. There's no end. Once a place is settled, that's where we're talking about greenfield and brownfield. Once a place is fully developed, it comes to a time that most of the houses there are approaching obsolescence. So they are getting old. They are getting old and all of that. So they are then candidate for redevelopment. It will get to a time when people will now start buying those properties, pulling them down and building modern properties.
Because for Isaga, for a solo now, there's a place we call Isaga. You if you don't know Isaga.
I know Isaga very
well. You know Isaga?
I attended Ansarudin Primary School.
You go know Isaga, that's true. If you know Isaga, Isaga is more like a clay house.
It's like village, part of the village in Isolo.
Thank you. Now, if person goes Isaga now, most houses there now, then they pull them down. Then they build new one. Like say most landlords, they sell their house finished.
Yes, sir. So redevelopment is happening there because if you look at it very well, in the Shaga you are talking about, They were the first set of places where people bought land and built in Isolo.
Isaga.
What I mean by that is, how you know is that look at the type of houses built there. They are majorly tenement houses.
That's true.
You know, there were majorly tenement houses. Around that Ishaga corridor, there were more tenement houses than. So,
room and parlor.
Exactly. So before people started to move inside to the Riakari and all of that, you know, it was that, because that road now, Mushi Solo Road,
Benny,
you know, it passed through Ishaga, so it brought development to the area. So right now, it's very ripe for redevelopment, and that's what is happening. That's what is happening. One interesting fact that I still wanted to mention about this community and Surulere was that, do you know that in that project done around that Onile Gogoro and Co, that's really Abraham Adesanya, I mean, I say Abraham, Adeniro Ogunsoya and Co, you know that it is said that the sewage plant system was one of its kind.
That's feces disposal.
Yes. Was one of its kind and the first in West Africa.
Whoa.
So we've had a lot of firsts. One of its kind and the first. I mean,
in West Africa.
Yes, the sewage treatment that was put in place in that whole project.
That's for that Olugu or...
No, for that Onile Gogoro, Surulere area, that it was one of its kind.
And the first in
West Africa. And the first in West Africa. I happened, growing up, I attended, before coming to Asarudin College, I attended my primary school, actually. I started primary school in Surulere. And we used to stay in Surulere and trek to school, more or less. So, and part of our journey passes through Onile Gogoro. So, I still recollect how it was envious, you know, to be living in those places. You know, they were well laid out, well taken care of at the time.
Master plan.
You know, very well done at the time. And it only took like about 4 months between compensating people and resettling them. So it was really done in a very good time back then. Very good time indeed. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
Okay, our viewers, please feel free, call in, shook mouth, make we know how community development take be for your own area. How it be when it's small. How it be now when you don't grow to let's make a comparison. Vis-a-vis with the talk, say the essence of this now make people know, say no place be boost. Everywhere don't they turn to town. Even the so-called town now, and the Debo don't make us realize, say, there's no end as far as real estate is concerned. Because glass house, now everybody they look at now. Skyscraper, everybody they talk about now. Yes.
Yes, so, I mean, well, also because, you know, land, we have to economize our land. So the population is getting more and more. You will be shocked that. So
nation sprout.
In this... Around this 1960 something that we're talking about and 70, Lagos population was about 1 million. About 1 million. And it was around it was estimated to reach 4 million or so in 1985.
Kai. That's 1985, 4 million. So
yeah. Now
that Lagos is more than 30 million.
People would say 22
years.
You know, and all of that. So if we stay with 22 million, can you imagine the growth, the population growth from that time?
And everybody won't get house. Everybody.
So we need to then be more economical with our land use. And that's why government favors, you know, you going up in Lagos rather than spreading horizontally. Because it's not going to be good use of space to just be building bungalows. I mean,
if you go
bungalow is a more expensive project in Lagos. Because the cost of land has gone up.
And person no utilize them effectively.
Well, if you just build bungalow, so it will take a very rich man to be building bungalow in Lagos, especially in the heart of Lagos, you know.
But if you do like 2-3 story building, some people if you rent that one,
it's more economical. It's more economical. You know, as we go on, I mean, as a developed country, I don't know when it may get to that point, but there are some parts of the world right now that you actually buy the sky.
kò yé mi èyàn rojú òfurufú.
So government has a policy. When you buy land, you can only build up to a particular level, up to a particular floor. If you want to go beyond that, you have to buy
the sky.
I'm telling you, you have to buy
airspace.
You have to pay like you are buying that space to build more floors. I mean, it's because we still have land, we still have the resources.
Wow, this is very, very interesting to know.
So we need to be economical with it, and that's why in places like Lagos and some other parts of the country,
maybe like Abuja, Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt particularly, Abuja, yes, the main part of Abuja. So that it's not economical to just be building bungalows anymore. It's not a good use of space. Because space is much more expensive right now. So you have to be careful. Okay. Another interesting fact is that it was in 1971 that the then governor of Lagos State was then a Colonel Mobolaji Johnson. It was in 1971.
That Colonel do gudu meje for housing.
That he opened, commissioned Surulere shopping complex.
Mobolaji Johnson.
Do you know Surulere shopping complex? In that Ogunsanya. Adeniro Ogunsanya.
Mobolaji Johnson. I remember. I will tell you what you coming. Michael, I will tell you. Mobolaji Johnson.
Michael from Abuja.
How you doing, Michael?
How is Abuja this morning? Michael,
network Michael.
Yeah. So what happened to
Mobolaji Johnson?
Yeah.
Na him I love Mawura take sing that time. Say ilé ìbíríkì àti ilé ìbúlọ́ọ̀kì o 15 naira la ó máa san. Ayé mọ tàpá síjọba ẹ̀ fara mọ́mọ́ Bọ́lájí. If like say he brought about.
That was he's talking about those projects now.
It's like he brought a reduction.
Those Surulere projects. That's it now. That was what they were to pay.
I think he brought a ceiling price or a fixed rate that tenants must pay.
Okay, you mean rent control?
Yes, he did rent control. I'm very sure.
He
did rent control. In fact, he specified to the standard that your house must have certain amount before you can charge. I know how much we charge because for the music is still day in my head. I know how much we charge. If not flat, I remember. If not Ile Pako, because Ile Pako he did that time.
Yeah.
Ile brick in a block. Mobolaji Johnson. I will call it that.
Now music they take, remember?
At times inside Samuel, now the music are good. Because now the music, when Nigeria is switched from Kenika to Kenika, they sing for some music. Once I sing the music, I remember. Yes. That's the beauty
Simon.
Yes, that's the beauty of music.
Abi of
good music.
Good music.
No be say balabala. Because nothing good comes from the balabala. If person there sound they remember say the balabala go fail. But when you remember Mobolaji or when we get independence, there are some music that tells us about independence.
But there are different types of
council.
Songs and different types of music.
That's what I say.
So there is the one that is just for your entertainment, and there is the one that is for education.
All the one we hear that time, education. If you are not ready to entertain, you are not ready to sing that time.
If you are not ready to educate.
Even Elomawura will be local person. He sing education something.
They were very educative, I must agree.
I've been a person want to.
Though they were also entertaining.
Yes.
I mean, they also sang those entertaining.
But they did their research.
To the level of their own something at that time.
No be say Well, we are wrapping up on community development memory lane.
Yes.
And obviously this is the last series.
Move on to something else next week.
Next week, most definitely. We want to say a very big thank you to Engineer Debo and to all our viewers. We say bye-bye.
Bye.